Lieutenant, Lieutenant General Chawla Vijayapu, very charming ladies, the veterans, and the serving officers. It's been a long battle to get his name 5140 as the gunway. Ever since the war ended, एक जज्बा था वेटरन्स के अंदर, people who fought this war, to get this one single hit at the gunway to remind the posterity of the job done by the gunners at that time. दुनिया आती है, जाती है, लोग आते हैं, मुझ जाते हैं, but monuments stand there. They remind you that at some point of time, your 27 gunners did such a fantastic job. They turned the pivot, they turned the battle in our favor. और जिसको इंजाम दे दिया है, उसमें दो शख्स का, can you hear me? जो इंजाम दिया है, उसके दो शख्स को मैं बहुत शुक्राना करना चाहता हूँ. पहले डीसीआरटी साहब, जिन्होंने आर्मी एयरपोर्ट को मैनेज किया और इसको आगे बढ़ाया. और दूसरा जो डीसी ने बताया है, जनरल who is the commander, who is chief of staff here? General Iyer, who made it happen. Officers here, the army commander is Joshi, who had fought the war with us, the corps commander, the GOC Dave, Commander 56th Brigade, 8th Army Brigade, and all the viewers who suffered with this problem, and they became the cutting edge of the artillery battle. And we were cutting edge. This is not my word. And they turned the battle. We came here, the situation was very clear. Just before we arrived, and we arrived on the 1st of June 1999, the 156th Brigade had assaulted 3 features: Tiger Hill, had 8 sick. Second was inadequate artillery. So just 5 units under Ken Colonel Dave, for 3 battalion attacks under the condition you see in front of you was absolutely inadequate. So we knew that we had to get more artillery for this. We analyzed it, what to be done. Fortunately, we got more artillery. And by the time we started the battle, we had almost 95 units, plus support, and that's what the one. You see these hills. Walking up these hills to 16,000 feet is no joke. And they're totally bare. There's not a blade of grass in it. There was no place you could hide behind a rock or behind a tree to take cover. So first thing was how to make the infantry reach the top. That was one phase. The second was, once they reached the top, at some distance, you are all aware, the artillery is lifted. It is about 600 meters in the mountains here. Those last 600 meters, the infantry is most tired, and when they have come under the range of the enemy weapons, small on fire, is the most difficult job. How to close the gap, how to cover the last mile. A very crucial thing, which bothered us as a gunner, bothered my team, 8th Army Brigade team, what to do. And the third was, the most crucial was, the maximum casualties in all battles are caused by artillery. How to silence the enemy artillery. We were quite handicapped. We had no idea where the enemy artillery was. We knew general location, Farashat and other places. They were there, but there were no exact locations. We had no observation. So we worked on these things. So we decided, we started doing together, CEOs and me. We started doing together, and we decided what to do. We were never scared to experiment and innovate. Artillery, by the way, is the only arm in the Kargil battle which innovated. It's not, I am talking about this, it's the US Army thesis which writes this. So we sat down and we said, let us see. We went back in history. We went back in history and found that in the time of Ranjit Singh and Babur, they had simple guns and they were used in that fine road. They were lined up, and when the enemy attacked, they were fired at them. They broke their attack, but they won. So it was a mind lesson, something of the sort. On the 6th of June, we took 4 guns, two field guns, at the base of Toroling. Now Toroling was the nearest point to the National Highway. We took the guns there. We selected good teams. CO-108, CO-197 accompanied me. I was there. And we wanted to experiment at Toroling. But Toroling had a peculiar problem. Toroling was encircled, or there were a ring of 18 grenades around it. You could not fire. So we requested the commander, the president of the brigade, Amaral, who was with us. He said, could you please request the slow brigadiers to give us a 100-yard wide lane, and we can try experiment. He acceded to our request. They cleared the place, and the first round they fired of Toroling, the prayers on our lips, I hope it was great responsibility on my shoulders that if the round had fallen on our own boys, it would give us a bad name and cause great casualties. We fired, and lo and behold, the first round landed right on top of Toroling. There was a gunner called Avtar Singh, Naik Avtar Singh of the regiment. I can't help but take his name. He looked like a carpenter with a pencil under his thing. He's a layer, but his hands were as steady as a surgeon. He could fire round after round at the same spot. Now, on that place, the 459 we are firing upon, the place was Barbad Bunker. Barbad Bunker had caused us the most serious problems. 18 grenadiers had suffered tremendous casualties because of Barbad Bunker. Do you know that gap of 100 meters from where 18 grenadiers were there and the top was there could not be covered because of the enemy fire? This was so close yet so far. And 18 grenadiers lost two valiant officers, the 2IC and one Major Staff Company Commander. They lost their lives. So we were very happy with the result. And when we fired more rounds from the Pakistan bunker, the Barbad bunker, came the voice of cry. It was intercepted. Hame bachao, hamare par कहर बरस रहा है. They were totally shattered. And this we heard every time we set eyes on any target. This was music to our ears. We were very happy we could do this. At that time, I told Commander Infantry Brigade that what do you tell Thakur, who was CO 18 Indians, to attack now? They were demoralized, they were shouting. I think 18 Indians suffered too many casualties and they missed the chance to ascribe the first victory to his name in Kargil. I'm sure if it went tough was yours. As Mr. told me, you made my gunners work very hard. You made them change position a number of times. But we found that if we can hem in the target, then our fire for effect would be very good. Then we fired guns in low angle. We fired guns in low angle, and then we also did one more thing. We demarcate east and because north and south are two faces, east and west faces. We demarcate these faces at separate targets, and we register them as such. So therefore, we made all the effort to make sure the maximum rounds of fire were caught by the crest, and we fired the least round. Ammunition is very difficult to come by. You could not afford to waste round. But this was a thought process.
These practical views, and should a time come in future where we have to live up to our motto, I think these useful experiences will come in very handy. Thank you very much, sir. I call upon other veterans here. Anybody?
My memories of this period are very somber. बड़ी बात जो थी, it was something which only soldiers can understand, and these are things which you don't glorify and sell to the public. When the planning for Turuling was going on, we suffered setbacks, as my erstwhile commander brought out. Not my erstwhile commander, he'll always be my commander, because he's the true architect of this victory. When the planning for Turuling was going on, we suffered a setback. I had 5 to 6 batteries only. I was the first chap here from 8 Mountain Hill, and thereafter the brigade headquarters came, and whatever surveillance did one could establish, one did what one could. And in front of us, Rajesh Adhikari died, and the initial assaults on Turuling were a failure. My OP officer Amit Sharma was the person telling me exactly what was happening. So when we done our preparations, when additional artillery had come in and the commander had firmed up his concepts, I remember him telling me, Alok, the country is looking towards us, we cannot afford to fail. If you remember, sir, these were his words to me. And the day after that, when I took he and I went to the divot quarters, where he briefed the GOC on the fire plan for Turuling, and I showed him the diagrammatic fire plan. And the GOC looked at us, he had nothing to say, and that went through, as the commander said, with a prayer on our lips. So this is the way things move. Now every day at night when I used to come back, I used to think, did I do all right? Could I have done something better? Because one used to agonize ki yaar, every second OP officer is coming from all over the place, and you're briefing him, whether it is Kasana who's coming from 41 field and going up here, whether it is somebody else from outside reinforcing artillery, you're briefing all of them, sending them off. You've been here, they know nothing. So the onus of briefing them and sending them up, you don't know if they'll come back, that lies on you. So that's always a heavy responsibility. And what could I have done better? Where are my failures? There was an OP officer of mine, Midru Kumar Singh, Sena Medal. He was in 3 attacks. I couldn't relieve him. While one attack got through because of direct firing, but the fact is he was there for 3 attacks, I couldn't relieve him. And I used to talk to him every time, but that responsibility was mine as a CEO. Did I fail? I don't know. Amit Sharma, who was there initially in the attacks on Turuling, when he came down, and again when 18 Grenadiers was given the chance to redeem itself when it was going up to Tiger Hill, and the GOC asked them, what do you want? They said, give us Amit Sharma. The commander said, Alok, they're asking for Amit. I said, Amit, will you go? Amit said, yes, sir. Just give me Shamshul. Shamshul Haq was his radio operator. So Amit Sharma and Shamshul Haq go to Turuling and go to Tiger Hill. They do what they do. So, I mean, these are matters which are always in your mind. And the third point is, and this is about for all our young gunners and instructors in the school, are that book HF set through. So I was there and talking to them in the ops room, in that bunker where Commander 8 RT Brigade, GOC 8 Mountain Div, Commander 56 was sitting. And that day the shelling was fierce. And I remember looking somewhere in front and
they are in war. So when I moved in, I realized I'm in war. And one of the incidents, when I was in my first gun position, that is Shamsha gun position, and we were giving the fire support to .5140, I got the shelling. One round nets up on top of the hill behind my gun position. After some time, second comes down like he was ranging. You got drop 400, add 200. So I got 3 rounds like that. I thought there is some OP officer who is watching my gun position and engaging it. So I sent my third party looking for someone outside on the hut or something. Didn't find anyone. वैसे आई वाज
लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल J.A. जॉर्ज, अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल। लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल रवि प्रसाद, परम विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल। मेजर जनरल आलोक देव, सेना मेडल, विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल। ब्रिगेडियर A.K. मिश्रा, सेना मेडल। कर्नल G.K. मेदिरता, सेना मेडल।
That's about the spirit of gunners. I had an officer by the name of Deepak Nampyar. General Ravi Prasad knows him very well. This boy was at hospital, base hospital in Delhi, of Rakshak casualty, and he was not permitted to come for the war. This officer signed a certificate saying that my regiment has reached here. I cannot stay in the hospital. He came with a sling arm. His arm was in sling, and he landed here in hospital. He landed here in Daras. The second officer of mine, which General Lakwinder also.
Colonel S.S. Peter.
जय हिंद। मैं सुखदेव भरतलाल 212 रॉकेट इंजन कारगिल।
सबसे पहले तो मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा कि डीजीआरटी साहब ने आज इस समारोह में मुझे 4 लाइन बोलने का मौका दिया। इसके लिए मैं अपने आप को सौभाग्यवान समझता हूँ। 1999 में मैं सिर्फ मेरी सर्विस 4 वर्ष की थी, जिस टाइम मुझे मौका मिला बैटरी के साथ कार्य लाने का। उस समय मुझे याद है साहब कि हमको यूनिट जो हमारी दिल्ली में थी और बहुत शॉर्ट नोटिस में हमको कारगिल आने का उसको अंजाम दिया। धन्यवाद।
Major General N. कुमार चावला, अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, ADC, DGRT और सीनियर कर्नल कमांडेंट।
Sir, will request slightly.